Welcome to the Leverage Show. This is Brett Ingram. Today, I want to share with you a drop-dead simple social media marketing plan. You know, I get a lot of questions and I talk to a lot of people about how to actually market your business using social media. There's a ton of confusion about this. There's also a ton of misinformation. So there are so many different ways to go about it, and there's so many different approaches to it and strategies and tools and everything else. It can be difficult to know exactly how to do it in a way that's best and most effective for your business. So I'm going to share with you a really simple way to do this. And if you follow this, no matter what tools you use or however else you go about it, you cannot fail. It's an absolutely foolproof way to do it. So the first step that you need to follow is you need to find out which social media platform is the best one for you. Now, this isn't based on your own personal preference, although that would be nice. If you could just choose, hey, you know, this is the one I want to market on, that would be great. But the reality of it is you need to know where your customers live. Where do they hang out? You know, check the demographics of the different social media tools that are out there and platforms. So if you want to look at Twitter and you want to look at Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Snapchat and anything else that you want to look at, the first thing that you want to do is you want to look into their demographics. Now, the great part about this is all this information is totally public. You can literally just do a Google search for, you know, Facebook demographics or whatever, and it will pop up and it will show you what countries are most represented, what, you know, genders, what age groups, marital status, education, income levels, all these different things. And it will show you the percentages of people that are already on there. So that's a great way to get started. But you can dig deeper and go beyond that also. Dig into the platform a little bit. If it's Facebook, for example, check out to see if there are any groups that target the specific market that you're in. So if you are selling cleaning supplies, then you want to do some searches on there for, you know, cleaning supplies, you know, any kind of thing like that. So you can determine whether or not there are groups on there that are actively talking about the stuff that you're going to be marketing. Now, if it's more of a visual platform like an Instagram, there may not be groups talking about it, but you want to see if there are images posted that people are liking of these different things. Pinterest would be similar. So you need to really understand your own market in order to do this, obviously. So if you don't have a great grasp on who your target customer is, that's obviously step one. You need to start sending out surveys. You need to start talking to people when they come into the store, or, you know, if you use a phone-based business, you need to start asking people when you're on the phone with them. Start to collect more information about your avatar, your particular customer, so you can understand where they live, understand where they hang out on social media. And that is going to give you a very big clue to where you should also be doing it. Now, once you've determined where you want to start, and my recommendation, by the way, I know a lot of people say, well, I want to get into social media marketing, so I'm going to sign up for every single account I can find, and I'm going to, you know, rock 20 different platforms. Look, there's good and bad. I do recommend that you sign up for all the big ones regardless. You should have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram account. You should have a YouTube account. Those kinds of platforms you definitely want to be involved with. But here's the trick. Only focus on building one of them at a time. Don't try to build them all at once. And you can still get your information and your content posted to all of them. But you only want to focus on building them one at a time, because it's too difficult otherwise to be so scattered and trying to build them in 100 different places at once. So focus on building one. Now, the second step of what you want to do is engage your prospects where they hang out. Now, we're not talking about any content here yet. We're just talking about engaging the prospects that you already want to connect with. If they're already hanging out there, we don't want to go in with a club and start beating them over the head about our business. What we want to do is go in there and get into the conversation. Look at what people are posting. Look at what people are talking about. See if there are common issues or concerns or complaints or comments that people are making, and literally jump into that conversation. They don't need to know you. You can still get in there and do exactly the same thing. And you can start posting, and you can start commenting, and you can start liking or forwarding or retweeting or whatever it is. You could start doing all of those things. And that will help you a great deal because it starts to build credibility. Think about it this way. If a person came to your house and knocked on the door, and they had some brochure in their hand that they're thrusting into your chest when you open the door, and then they start with, "Hey, I'm John from XYZ Company, and we sell," immediately your initial reaction is turn off, get away from me, I don't want to be sold, I don't want to be pitched. Social media is no different. Remember that it's not an advertising platform. Okay, these are social media platforms where people are getting on there to engage in conversation, and it has a much more social feel, a lot less of an adsy or marketing type feel. So you have to be a little bit clever and a little bit lower key with the way that you approach it. The best way to do it is to engage with the people that are on there, get to know them, start to make some comments, and let them know that you know what you're talking about. I don't just mean like, "Hey, cool post, man." I mean stuff like somebody has an issue with a particular thing, and your product or your company or your expertise gives you some information in terms of how to solve that problem. Give them a free tip, not a pitch with a link to your product or your website, just some free tips on how they can, do whatever it is that they're trying to do and do it faster. You'll start to build credibility. People will like what you're saying. They'll start to share it. Now, this is a slow process, okay? So you have to be willing to invest some time in this. It isn't going to be something that in, 2 weeks, you've built 100,000 followers and you're making tons of money from your social media. But what's beautiful about it is if you take the time to build it the right way the first time, it will be there to pay you forever because it will be this nonstop stream of resources and traffic and interested prospects and customers, and they'll be recommending you to other people. Okay, so now we've found where we want to play, and now we've also started to engage in the conversation. The next step is to start to publish content. And again, when I say content, I mean content. I don't mean marketing spin. I don't mean sales videos. I don't mean links to your website and your products. I mean, if you are in, whatever it is, if you're in the, how to get out of debt business, you want to start shooting some tutorial videos or making a tutorial PDF file on, some 10 quick steps for how to improve your credit score or whatever it is like that. Make short little videos, 3 minutes at a time, whatever it is. Even write text posts that have real content. Start to post that stuff. What you will find is when you've engaged with your audience and now you're starting to provide them with free content, they will start to share that stuff. Your influence will start to grow and they will become more interested in what you have to offer. Now think about that in terms of an effective marketing strategy. What do you think is going to work better? Knocking on doors and jamming stuff down people's throat, or having people say to you, "Hey, that was a great tip that really helped me out. Now, by the way, how do you know all this?" "Oh, well, it just so happens the company that I run specializes in, improving people's credit scores and helping them to get out of debt. Here's our website, and oh, well, what else do you do? Like, do you have more information?" "Absolutely. We have these 3 products. You can take a look at them on our site. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Let me know." Which way do you think you're going to make more sales? It's not even a question. If you get people to understand that you have value to offer, they will want everything else that you have to offer too, including stuff they have to pay to get. So once you build that credibility, you're good to go. Now again, from a 10,000 foot view, I'm saying focus on one social media platform. However, there are tools that will automate getting that content out to all of these other platforms. I do recommend you do that. I do think it's important to be on multiple. I just think you want to focus on building one, because if you try to build them all, you'll find it's a full-time job. You won't be very good at any of them, and you will never get to the point where you build that credibility. Once you've built one really well, it's much easier to go and build the other ones. So you want to find out where your audience hangs out, get involved in that platform in particular. You want to engage in the conversation. And when I say engage also, you can use automated tools. You can use tools that schedule posts, but I don't mean these spammy things. You've got to do it in a way that's real. You can use that stuff to supplement what you're doing, to make it look like your account is more active. But in all honesty, you have to get on there personally, or have somebody who is doing it personally, to engage with other people and to let them know exactly what you have to offer. That will go a long, long way. And then start getting that content out there. Now, once you start doing the content, you can start to intersperse some of your marketing stuff. You could throw in a link to your website. You could throw in a link to one of your products. You could talk about, other things that you may actually benefit from, as opposed to just giving pure content. But you want to keep it to a minimum. If it starts sounding salesy, people are going to tune you out. So make sure you're always providing value, and then giving them your links, giving them your website, giving them your other stuff on the back end. You can build a huge following this way, completely free, but it will cost you some time, it will cost you some intention, and it will cost you some engagement. But if you do it, the rewards can be really, really awesome. As always, if you have any questions, share them with me at leverigeshow.com or tweet them at me at #LeverageShow. And until next time, make it happen.